Possiamo iniziare? Vado? Ok. Vado. Benvenuti, grazie a tutti per aver
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for accepting our invitation to the first press conference of Optovision. My name is Valentina Puccimossatti, product and training representative of the group, and I'm here to talk about innovation, which is the core of Optovision. We have Massimo Barberis, Managing Director of Rodenstock, Daniela Poletti, Head of Marketing of the Rodenstock Group, and two international colleagues who have joined us to tell us about this innovative technology that we are going to describe today. Manel and Spinola, Product and Technology Manager of Optovision, and Garcia, Director of Center of Product Excellence of Optovision. As this is the very first conference at MIDO for Optovision, I'd like to ask Massimo Barberis what Optovision is within the Rodenstock Group. First of all, thank you very much and welcome on behalf of Optovision Italy. For me, it is an honor, and I'm also excited to open this first press conference of Optovision Italy at MIDO. Optovision has been recently integrated in the group, and as of today, it is certainly an important part of the group. But let me first spend a couple of words on the vision and mission of the company, on our goals and purposes, and what characterizes Optovision today, and why independent operators should choose us as a partner. Our vision. So, who are we, basically? German engineering is a key concept for us, and this is again one of our main pillars, that of working on innovation as a concept. As Valentina said earlier, today we're going to talk about innovation. We have two international colleagues here who will tell us something new about Optovision. The concept of German engineering lies at the core of the company, is the core business of the company, and that's how we position ourselves on the market. We want to make a difference through innovation and technology. I've been reiterating that for years. 80% of our turnover in Italy is made up of products who are less than 4 years old. That means that innovation is the main driver for growth on the market. So choosing to work with Optovision means choosing innovation, choosing a partner which somehow innovates, generates added value, opportunities, and helps sales centers and optic centers to generate traffic. Traffic generation is really key nowadays. We're going through a moment when, for sure, this is not easy to achieve. Our macroeconomic and political scenario is definitely complicated. So being able to rely on a partner which innovates and generates value is certainly very important. Let's now get to the second pillar, the fact of being personal partner. This proximity and this close relationship with the independent distributors. Optovision supports, helps, and designs tailor-made programs for independent opticians. So again, the proximity to distribution aims at generating traffic, value, and opportunities. Last but not least, the ability to combine quality with positioning. So the fact of having a competitive positioning and giving access to an affordable, high-quality product. This is the main challenge that Optovision is tackling on the market. Clearly, the integration in the Rodenstock Group has led to obvious results and advantages. Well, first and foremost, an excellent service. As of today, Optovision is fully integrated in the Rodenstock structure and can benefit from specific activities from the group. So logistics, operations, product delivery. So also in this case, we are able to guarantee a highly efficient service. Last but not least, in Italy, we finalized the integration process throughout the past couple of years, and in that, I must say, our team has been really extraordinary. Today, we can rely on a marketing department that works with Optovision's rationale and principles. Optovision retains its DNA, its track record, its history, its positioning on the market, and medium to long-term objectives. And how? This through the organizational structure with an efficient marketing department, a cutting-edge product team, and also training, because we somehow try to support the independent channel through training. I do not want to be too lengthy, because today we're going to present a really extraordinary innovation. And I'm very happy and proud because this German engineering philosophy is brought onto the Italian market through Optovision, which is one of the pearls and jewels of the Rodenstock Group. So I'd like to hand over the floor to Valentina and then to my international colleagues. Thanks again for being here today. So we said innovation. However, innovation is not only part of our DNA. We want innovation to be part of your DNA, of the DNA of our optics center. So how can technology become a value, become a real lever at the point of sale? So the keywords are clear, in my opinion: innovation, technology, and there is another word which really belongs to Optovision's DNA. The fact of involving the final consumers, so final consumers' involvement. The task of Optovision with today's launch and presentation of WIRDme progressive lenses is that of combining, on the one hand, technological innovation, development and innovation with this emotional and immersive component. So I'd like to show you a short video clip first, because this is going to be the first element that we're going to discuss together.
Vi chiederete di che cosa stiamo parlando.
You may wonder, what are we talking about? 10 seconds. 10 seconds is the time needed to map all possible human behaviors, including the visual behavior. And this is the result of Metzler University's study involving about 50,000 people who used virtual reality, and through the use of VR, they managed to map their visual behaviors. And this is a sort of visual footprint of the consumer and the client. Each individual customer has his or her own visual footprint, which is unique and unrepeatable. When dealing with progressive lenses, we are talking about something that scientific research and literature reached the same result. That is, we have to understand what visual behaviors our long-sighted patients have in order to be able to offer them an individual, tailor-made product. Well, this applies not only to Optovision, of course, but to the entire industry. However, Optovision has embraced this concept because our idea is to allow all long-sighted patients to see in a fluid, natural, natural way at all distances by respecting his or her own individual visual footprint. How can we achieve that goal at Optovision? Well, by using virtual reality and immersing our consumer into virtual reality And there we can understand what visual footprint our consumer has. He or she may be a person who uses all possible eye movements to see from all distances, or maybe it is a person who tends to use the head, his or her head, to change his or her point of view. Or they may be people using both combinations, both eye movement and head movement. The impact of the visual behavior has an impact on research and development that is on the way. Optovision built their lenses by fulfilling the different needs and complying with all the different visual behaviors of our consumers. Our aim is therefore that of supporting the optic centers in finding their own way in order to be unique and to make a difference on the market so that their professional activities can be enhanced. When dealing with progressive lenses, usually people has a sort of a bias vis-à-vis the progressive lenses. They tend to underestimate the importance of this product. Our goal is to enhance the value of progressive lenses so that it becomes a differentiating product for the point of sale. We want optic centers to combine all the technical innovating aspects of the product with another important role that opticians have, that of involving their consumers. And this is one of the major issues nowadays. Opticians struggle in generating traffic in their stores. So by creating an involving customer journey, we can help opticians in generating traffic. And at the end of the day, this would also mean increasing the average price of the product. And on top of that, we also increase the bond and strengthen the bond with our consumers. So the purchase experience is another pillar in the launch of WIRDme. We have concrete facts and figures that support what we are talking about. Customer experience. In 70% of the cases, we increase the involvement rate of customers by making them aware of the product that they are buying. Being involved also means being able to increase the investment and the readiness to invest and buy a progressive lens. When we do so, as we said, we can create a stronger bond with our customers. So 90% is this rate, and through this we can also increase the so-called word of mouth. Well, I think all colleagues or opticians present here in the room agree on that. They may have been able to fulfill the customer's needs, and as that customer was so happy with that optician, well, he or she recommends that optician to other friends and people. Well, he or she may say, look, I went to Mr. X and I was so happy because I got the product that I needed. And so once again, we increase the awareness and the popularity of the optic center. So the levers that we use in order to increase the propensity of customers to buy are, on the one hand, emotional connections that you are able to establish on a natural basis, but through the customer experience journey that Optovision offers with WIRDme, emotional connections are further enhanced in combination with the technology that is being offered. The results that we have achieved in other countries where the product has already been released have been really extraordinary. Through a survey that was carried out both with consumers and with opticians, we have recorded extraordinary results. You see, 6 out of 10 consumers recommended the product and told about their satisfaction with the purchase of progressive lenses and with the service that they got when they bought the progressive lenses. 9 out of 10 users even said that this technology really helped them in the decision-making process. And this is an element which is of paramount importance. We see that customers become the protagonists when they choose their product, and so they will be very confident when using their lenses. And finally, last but not least, well, the revenues for the opticians. Because, well, opticians now experienced an increase in revenues from 11 to 20%. So this is basically the rationale that the group used for the launch of WIRDme. And now my invitation to you is, well, let's differentiate ourselves and let's go through this path together with WIRDme. I would now like to hand over to Valentina, who will moderate the conversation with our colleagues. Very good. So 2 key elements. On the one hand, we have an immersive experience that may help consumers and users to experience a different visual experience and to become aware of the purchase that they're making. Lenses should be again at the core of the decision-making processes of our consumers, and then the choice of the product. How can we combine a 3D virtual immersive experience with a product? This is a question for Noelia. Noelia has been working for years, has a long experience in this product. And so, Noelia.
The observation answer to this question is the development of WIRDme concept. So let me explain you a little bit more about the concept itself. It's a comprehensive concept. It goes beyond the lens because today personalization in this market, in the industry, in lenses goes much farther. And selling experience, buying experience, innovation are also key factors to get the satisfaction of the clients. And of course, the most important part is the lens. So what we want is to provide the most comfortable lens, the most ergonomic design, to provide the most visual, natural vision for the final consumer, for the final user. And to get this one, we need to achieve those 2 things. In one way is to adapt the design to the ergonomic of the person, but also sharpness is talking about natural vision, and this is what we are looking for as well. And for doing this, we need to collect information from the user. We need to collect some information about how is the visual behavior of the people, of the person, in different situations in the daily work. Today, technology allows us to do that. I mean, and virtual reality is getting us the opportunity of developing a whole world in a very small place. We can reproduce a 3D environment to reproduce how can be the visual behavior of these people. And this is what we are doing. We are trying to create also, using this virtual reality, not only the collection of data, but also the creation of an amazing experience and an absolute different experience for the final consumer. And this is how we achieve what we want from this concept. What is basically to get the maximum satisfaction for the clients, not only from the lens itself, but the whole journey. So the journey is starting with the measurement and is finishing with the lens for the client. And for doing that, we need the most advanced technology. Virtual reality headsets, you can find a lot of them. What we have chosen for this project has been the most advanced device, because if we want to get precise information, if we want to get precise data about how is the visual behavior, how is the visual behavior of the client, of the people, we really need to have the most sophisticated device for doing this. And the device we are using is very advanced. is also doing a real eye tracking. So we are following both eyes independently. We are also, this device is also allowing us to create a very immersive and very high level experience. The displays, all the resolution is in the premium segment, in the high level. Also the device is providing automatic adjustment, because part of the experience is based as well in the adjustment of the device, and this device is giving us the opportunity of doing automatically to offer this full experience as better as possible. And this is the technology who allows us to create the tests we really need. And in one hand, we wanted to create this amazing experience, this very realistic experience, a different experience for the user. But we also needed to create something close to the real life, to the real world. And also, the test should allow us to reproduce how is the natural behavior of the people in natural conditions. So we are measuring not only, smooth movements, but also fast and slow movements at the same time. So, and with all this data, what we are collecting is basically angles and speed. We are measuring, collecting information about how the eyes are measuring in angle and also in speed. With this information, we are also able to know how is the behavior of the eye, the movement of the eye from far vision to near vision. We know where is the starting point when someone is starting to go down and to use the near vision area as well, is allowing us also to personalize the corridor. Because we are also measuring the speed and the gradient of how is moving the eye from far to near vision. And also we are measuring the pupil size. And the pupil size is something that is helping us to improve as well the optical optimization of the lens itself. And with all this data, we carry out a complete analysis. We are collecting thousands of data of each user. And with the data, we analyze all this data all together. And with this data, what we are doing is a personalized design. It's a personalized design for this person, for individual person, for each individual person, to get the most ergonomic design and the most high quality optical performance in this lens. So, and this is how we complete the whole journey for the consumer. So from the collecting the measurement to finally provide a personalized lens with the most amazing experience as possible. And then, how we are offering this, in which product portfolio. So let me show you. Basically, we have 3 different levels of progressive lenses. All of them are personalized based on the visual behavior and also in the pupil size. The differentiation between them is based on the different levels of personalization of the position of wear. Basically, it's following the same structure that we have in our wider portfolio. It is because we want really to simplify the whole process and to simplify the selling process also for our opticians, and to offer exactly the same level of designs but in a personalized level. And this is everything about the general concept. Yeah. So I think we can go
Noelia.
deeper now with the technology.
Thank you, Noelia. We've seen how we measure some precise important parameters. They're not just economic, but also the pupil diameter to optimize sharp vision through the lens and also comfort, ergonomics of the lenses. And we do all this through an immersive, pleasant experience for the wearer. In only 90 seconds, we measure precisely some parameters while the consumer is living and is being transported into a Pacific island. So a beautiful, marvelous experience. But let us try now to understand, thanks to the next speaker, exactly how the product works and what's behind the lens and this technology.
What is behind this technology and the lens?
Thank you, Valentina. Now it's the moment, I think, to go deeper into the technologies of the lens. I know that the audience is eager to to know more, and I will try to explain which are the features and which are the technologies that we apply for developing a personalized lens, okay? But first of all, I think that we have to speak about two different concepts that we try to apply in all the designs that we have in Optovision. These two different concepts are ergonomy and design and optical performance, okay? For differentiating them, I think that the optical design, the ergonomy and design is related to those parts of the lens that are set by, in some case, in an arbitrary way. I mean, there is a part of knowledge, there is a part of art also on how we can develop and how we can distribute the aberrations within the lens or the corridor progression. This is not something set. This is something unique for each of us. So this is a key point of technology that contributes to the comfort and adaptation of the lens. On the other side, on the optical performance, this is something that we must have. And this is not related to art or to some institution or something. This is based principally on mathematical and optical models. We have to ensure that the people, when it's looking through a lens, through the part that they are using for viewing the different objects, they have the sharper vision. So this is providing clear and sharper vision for having an optical performance with the lens. This is something that already exists in WIRDme. WIRDme is a customized lens, okay? So we have part of ergonomy and design and performance. But we want to go further. We want to go further and personalizing the design. How can we do this? The way to go beyond WIRDme and to go into personalization, real personalization, is this individualization, not customization, okay? For that, I think we have to clarify and to differentiate between three different concepts, three different levels of performance in lenses. The first one is the standard lens. If we plot the performance, the optical performance for a standard lens is quite good. I mean, a lens is quite mature. We have a lot of knowledge in designing, experience on manufacturing. We are providing basic lenses with a very high quality. But if we want to go further in the performance, in the optical performance of a lens, we can go into customization. In our case, WIRDme is our customized lens. After an analysis, a statistical analysis of different features, we are semi-tailoring parts of the lens, part of the needs of the users, into a lens that fits better and provides better optical performance than a standard lens. For going even further to the ulterior step on optical performance, we must go to individualization. This is WIRDme. For individualization, we try to measure parameters, exactly parameters of each person, and then tailor the lens exactly to these parameters and to these needs of each of us, okay? Then, how to do this individualization in the lens? We will differentiate again between the two concepts, ergonomy and design, and optical performance. And in the case of optical design, there are two main technologies that we are using for personalizing the lens. The first one is the design. I will go deeper later, but regarding the design, we are capable of those unwanted aberrations of the lens distribute according to the needs of the users. So we are improving the comfort and the adaptation. And with the same goal of improving comfort and adaptation of the lens, we also optimize and personalize the progression length of the lens. Speaking about the progression length, there is a lot. It's not only the value of the addition, it's the starting point, the ending point, the gradient of the progression, and all these features of the progression are personalized based on the measurements. On the other side, for the optical performance, what we have to do is to provide ulterior optical performance, and what we are doing is measuring the pupil size so we can optimize the higher order aberrations within the lens, and then we have the sharper image possible. Okay? If we speak about design, the starting point is that you know that every lens, since you have a progression length by the mean width theorem, you have an unwanted level of aberrations close to the umbilical line. This is clear, we cannot avoid these aberrations, but it's also known for the designers that we have room for improvement. We have room for managing the position and the size of these aberrations. So what we have here is an adaptive flexible design technology which even with the same corridor, we are able to use different distribution aberrations. This is the key point, this portfolio of designs available for each of us. Based on the measures that we have of the visual strategy, then we can determine with our model which is the best distribution aberrations that we need. And the most important thing of WIRDme lenses is that now we have not a fixed design anymore. WIRDme is not a fixed design. WIDER is just one point, because the aberration distribution is fixed in WIDER, it's one point of this cloud of available designs. In this case, for WIRDme, we have a very wide range of available designs just waiting to fit to each customer. How do we do that? Okay, so as Noelia has explained, we have a virtual reality headset where we can have all the measures needed regarding the ocular, velocity, angle, orientation, speed, and also for the head. Then we have a model which integrates all this data, studies the synchronicity with the movements, the limits, etc. And then we determine at different distances which is the specific design that the user needs. So the headset is providing information to assign an infinite range of design and a specific design for each user. Another type of personalization not related to design is the progression length. In the progression length, also, what we do is just evaluate through measurement the optimal vertical angle, movement angle of the head and the eyes, so we can set which is the ideal progression length, the definition of the starting point, the ending point, and also the gradients and each point of the progression. But I think that it's important to say that this progression is not the same for the different users. I mean, it's also unique. Depending on the value of the progression or depending on the design, we can have a different progression. Just as an example, here on the middle plot, imagine this is the progression for a one personal design with a 2 diopters value. In the first case, if WIRDme is assigning a different design respect these people, what is done is the progression length is changing her shape. Maybe the starting point is before the green line, which would be this standard case. So we are modifying this progression profile fitting to the needs of the users. But also, if we have the same design or a similar design and we change the value of the addition need for the user, we are also managing to modify the progression length according to this addition. For example, we could soften the initial part of the progression to enhance the comfort of the user. With these two technologies of design and progression, we are working in the ergonomics part of the lens, providing this comfort and these adaptation levels. But if we want to provide the whole optical performance for the user, we have to analyze also the optical performance, the optical technologies. In this case, what we are doing is we are optimizing the higher order aberrations with the value of the pupil size. The pupil size, it's tracked during all the experience. We are measuring the pupil size along all the experience, and then we extract the value for using it as an input for the calculation. In this way, simply what we are trying to do is to optimize the optical system. The optical system, or for an optical designer, the perfection of the optical system is that an object point creates an image with a point, from a point to a point. The problem is that in optical systems, there are aberrations, there are different positions, and normally what we have is that the image of a point in the retina, it's not a point, it's a blur point, it's a stain because of aberrations. In the case of the pupil aperture, this influences a lot in the spherical aberrations, and then the quantity of light rays that are entering to the retina, then it's worsening this spot. What we do is to modify the curvature of the lens according to the pupil size of the retina, so we try to minimize this blurred spot into a point, creating the image of a point to be a point. This is how we enhance the sharpness of the optical system. Here on the right, you can see a comparison between the different levels of personalization in lenses that we can have. For example, a standard lens, which, for example, we are not applying position of wear, means that the blurriness in the center of the retina is just has an offset. It's already blurred because we are not providing the exact correction. If we don't provide the parameters of position of wear, then we are not adjusting the effective power of the lens to the needed power of the lens. And then when going out of the retina center on the paraphobia and so on, the blur is increasing. In the case of a customized lens, where we provide maybe, for example, the position of wear parameters individualized, what we are doing is just decreasing this initial blurring error in the center of the retina, but then going away from the center, we will have an increasing blur. This is normal because we are just providing a correction in the center. But with the pupil size value that we have from the measure and the optimization of these higher order aberrations, what we are doing is just to minimize with this personalized design this part of the off-axis angle in the retina, improving the blurriness of the image in this part of the retina. This is improving in a parafoveal zone the image quality, and this enhances the performance of different tasks like reading. Okay. Summarizing, what we have with WIRDme is these two concepts, ergonomy and design, and within the first concept, the first and most important point is that we modify the aberrations in terms of position and distribution and peaks of astigmatism accordingly to the visual strategy of the user measured with the headset. Also, we optimize the progression length according to the ergonomics needs of the user. And finally, also, we provide ulterior optical performance thanks to the optimization of higher order aberrations. Okay? And this takes us to the benefits of the lens that maybe Valentina can explain
Thank you.
better.
Thank you. What we have seen is just how we work. We've seen it several times on different aspects. On the one hand, ergonomics. So we optimize the design based upon the visual strategy that we calculate thanks to the headset, and also based upon the progression length that is calculated based upon the visual strategy of the wearer. Another important aspect is the optical precision, where an important factor is the pupil diameter, and thanks to this immersive experience we can calculate it. It is pleasant for the wearer, by the way, and thanks to it we can calculate it. But why do we do all of this? Well, to provide tangible benefits in terms of quality of life every day for the wearer. So thanks to WIRDme lenses, we offer a better adaptability to all of the daily situations and more visual comfort, sharper vision, and a better vision in darker environments. So wearing the lenses will bring benefits in terms of naturalness of vision in all conditions. Not only in all activities and taking account of the posture and economics, but also in all situations in terms of light level. And the other major benefit, a tangible one, is that, as we've seen, we increase the loyalty of the consumer and the engagement of the consumer, because living this experience, this immersive experience, means that in a matter of seconds, I live my vision, and at the same time, it tracks the eye footprint. So this becomes a lens, and this means, as we've seen with Daniela, this means an increase in the wearer's satisfaction. Now, I've tried it personally, thanks to Maner, who came to Italy. And I grant you, it's a different experience. It's amazing. The headset is a last generation type of headset, and it can really give a 3D reality impression. It's immersive, but I mean, it's really something in which you're there on this specific island. So you don't even realize that time flies and that they're measuring you. So for the consumer, this is something that you want to continue because it's so pleasant and engaging. So I invite you to try it in our booth so that you can touch and feel and see the immersive experience of WIRDme so that you can tell us what you think of it and let us know how this experience is, if you really find it immersive, as me and my colleague have. So come and visit us in our booth, and with that I thank you for staying with us today.